This is Remix Report with your hosts, DJ JD and DJ J Spring.
Today's video brought to you by YourDJSkins.com. Pimp your gear today.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another weekend recap from Remix Report. I'm DJ JD.
I'm DJ J Spring, and this is the part where we talk about what we did this past weekend at the clubs and also some of our thoughts. Kind of like a Jerry Springer kind of thing, like our final thoughts of the week.
Yeah, I like that. Never really thought about it that way.
I'll let you go first.
I like Jerry Springer, so I'm down with that.
I was a big fan until it just went like chaos, and then I couldn't watch anymore until I knew it was fake, and I had to stop watching.
You know what? He was at Foxwoods about a year and a half ago.
I remember that.
He was there for like a week because he was filming some stuff. Came in a lot, and he said hi to every single person that went up to him. Shook everybody's hands, took pictures with seriously everybody. He was seriously stopped like every 10 feet. I saw him like on the concourse.
You know what's funny though?
Ridiculous.
That reminds me though. He used to be a politician.
Yeah.
So he's probably used to it. You know, when you're a politician, you have to do the same thing. So I bet that probably carried over.
I gained a lot of respect for him for doing that because at that stature, it's kind of difficult to do that.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And keep your cool.
So we're starting this weekend recap off with a big shout out to Jerry Springer.
Yes.
I bet we never thought it was going there when we started this thing.
I sure didn't. Alright, so I guess I'll start with the week. Earlier this week on Tuesday, Friday of Tuesday, we had Avicii back again, and it was one of the most ridiculous nights I've ever seen at Shrine. It was insane. You
know what's funny is I actually got there pretty late. I got there, we closed at 12:50. I got there at 11, and you guys had the back of the DJ booth. When you're DJing, your back is actually, there's an open space in the club and it's facing the casino floor. And if it's busy enough like it was that night, there's actually a line going in back of the DJ booth. And I saw you, and you didn't see me. I saw our friend Joe, who designed the site. You two guys were together, and I was trying to get your attention, and you guys didn't notice me. It was like you were looking at something else. And I'm trying to get your attention so maybe I could sneak. I wanted to know if I could sneak in that way.
Oh, yeah.
And then Frank, who's one of the managers at Shrine, just gives me a huge push. And like he had a smile. He was joking. And so I'm like, oh, and I was about to like ask. I'm like, oh, Frank, can I go in this way? And like right when I was about to open my mouth, Avicii just walks right by me and walks in the booth. And then Frank pushed me in right after him.
Yeah.
And everyone cheered.
For you,
It might have been. I don't know.
Yeah, Jay Spring's here!
I don't know, Avicii just happened to walk in at the same time too. But
I bet he was jealous of you.
I mean, I'm sure he gets enough credit of his own.
It was absolutely insane. I'm gonna post the video that Joe did of the night below this.
It was like a concert. It
really was. People were there. We opened the doors at 9, and people were there at 9 o'clock, just standing there on the dance floor, looking straight at the DJ booth, like. You know, when you're in a club, no one just stands there and looks at a DJ booth. You only do that at a show.
When I'm there, you know what you don't see when I'm DJing? Unfortunately, you don't see any of this. Cell phones in the air, trying to take pictures and video. No one's ever done that for me yet. Someday.
It was absolutely insane. And Kazette, who we talked about one of their remixes recently.
The Save the World remix.
Yep. They actually opened for him. And it's two guys, Swedish guys, and their set was sick. They played some really dope stuff. It was definitely different than Avicii. Avicii plays more like vocal big room house. They were playing more, not dubstep, but more grimy electro kind of house.
Do you remember what they played right before he came on?
I don't.
Save the World. I wasn't sure. Was that Burning? Did they Save the World?
It was their remix of it, right?
Yeah, it was their remix. So maybe, I'm sure they have a mutual understanding.
The one thing though, I did see their manager, or the guy who was managing them that night, at the very end of the night, after the whole night was done, he was like kind of scolding them because I guess when they got on after we had two openers, Jeff LeClaire and Richard Fraioli, and Jeff LeClaire was on right before them, and they didn't even like mix into his song that he was playing. They pretty much just hit stop and play. Are you serious? On theirs.
Wow.
And their manager was like scolding them like, you can't do that. You have to like either filter it out or you have to mix into it. You can't just hit stop and hit play on yours. You can't do that. And they were like, we didn't do that. But they did.
Were they speaking in English?
Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely had thick accents, but it's just kind of funny to see.
It was a packed club. Kazette walked in. They just hit stop on the turntable, stopped for about 10 minutes. They set up their Serato, their laptops and stuff, their headphones. Like, what? Yeah.
It was really like half a second.
Okay.
It's just kind of funny seeing, because I think they haven't really toured a whole lot yet. So I think they're still kind of in that beginning DJ stage, even though they're at that level already.
The person who trains me always jokes about the first time I ever got on the turntable, how I used to hit the start button to start the record.
Why isn't it starting on time? Why does it take you so long?
I didn't know back then. I had no idea.
Yeah, I was kind of like that too.
No idea.
No instant start. I remember the first CD players I bought, like, it was a big deal to have instant start on your CD players.
Yeah.
Like, because it used to be, like, even when you hit start on CD players, it didn't start right away because it didn't buffer and all that.
I used to have to, when I used to make my mixtapes back in the day, when I used to make remix CDs, and I would record my blends from my turntables onto a Philips CD recorder, so my blends would be on a CD, and if I was going to put all those remixes I had on that recorded onto the CD, I used to make doubles of that CD, and then I used to set up the recording thing again and mix the remixes together from the CDs. I had 2 CD Walkmans that I used to try to do.
Have to, like,
I try to hit it. You have to time it at the right time.
You'd be like counting in your head, like 1, 2, boom.
Crazy.
I know. Like delay. 3/4 of the way through me saying 2 is when I need to press it.
Yeah,
it's really like that.
Things have changed a lot.
Tape decks too. It's like that. Yeah. Man.
So anyway, Avicii destroyed it.
Yeah. And let's see. The night before that, actually, a couple of us, Spring didn't want to go, but we went and saw Tiesto up at UMass, and it was with like 5,000 college kids, and I definitely felt a little old, but it was dope to see the energy in that room. But Avicii definitely destroys Tiesto.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Destroys him. Yeah.
But when you say that, I mean...
The energy, no, seriously, the energy that Avicii brings, the transitions, he was flawless.
Yeah.
Tiesto, there were no train wrecks or anything like that, but there were a couple out of key mixes. Just like it wasn't polished like Avicii's set was.
As DJ Douchebag, our friend, likes to say, who's Tiesto?
Exactly.
Never heard of him.
Let's see. I played at Shrine Friday, and opened for Riz at Shrine on Saturday, and I know Riz is definitely happy it's football season again. So shout out to Riz and his fantasy league. Yeah, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. I did my college spot on Thursday. It was the first time after being raided the previous week. This place that I DJ at has been raided so many times over the last 2 years, either 5 or 6 times.
And this is rated for trying to catch underage kids in the bar.
Yes, and they've been very successful the first 5 times, hence why they did it again. And this time, they actually didn't find anybody. The owners were doing like touchdown dances after the cops left.
That's amazing.
It was like, all right, thanks for coming, guys. No, we do our best to get the IDs. All right, thanks for coming. They shut the door. They're just like, yeah, woo! That's kind of
all the underage kids come running in the back.
Lots of high fives going on. That was actually the most fun I've had in the club in a while. that was an awesome party after they didn't catch anybody.
That's amazing.
So they're still alive and kicking at the college spot.
Happy to hear that.
Yes. Friday, I was at Scorpion Bar, and I'm still getting used to adding the top 40 in.
It's something we've wanted to do for a while, but it's actually more difficult than it sounds.
You know, one of the toughest things is that I like to play my end of the night open format top 40 set at Scorpion Bar, but if I'm going to do that, then that kind of takes away from the best rock that I normally play that gets the best reaction, like the Take Me Home Tonight.
Maybe you should start playing some of that stuff earlier.
I do. That's what I had to do. But I mean, Take Me Home Tonight is such a mellow song. I feel weird playing it at like 115 or 120.
Usually when I play it, I forget which version I play, but I usually play the chorus and get out of it.
If I want to play a more upbeat version of Don't Stop Believing, I play the Danny Diggs Move Your Feet mix, which works good. That keeps the energy up for that song. So there's different mixes that I'm going to try to play. It's definitely made me think about how I play the rock more and try to find different combinations that work with the top 40. So that's good. Add a little spice to it, because it was getting a little stale doing the rock all the time. So
it makes you think a little more.
It does.
Which we don't always like to do, but you know.
Last night, I don't know when you guys are seeing this, but Saturday night, I actually went out. We had a gig moved back a month, so I had the night off, and I went with my friend Justin, and we went to West Hartford. There's a nice little scene there. It's actually a real nice scene. There's a few bars there that are kicking, and we took a little tour and hit them all. He works for Budweiser, so he's familiar with all the owners, and we always end up hitting all the spots real quick. And the one thing I have to say that really surprised me, and it's not that I look down on other DJs, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that as a whole, there's so many DJs doing so many spots, you can't expect all of them to be good. And especially when I mean, how many clubs are there in Connecticut? You don't expect to go to all these clubs and hear good DJs. And I was definitely mistaken, because all these places I went all had awesome DJs. I was very surprised. Shout out to DJ Emmy. I met him for the first time at Barcelona in West Hartford. He did a real good job. The place I went to, Sidebar, I think, DJ was awesome there too. And it just makes me think that, I mean, DJs are so far along from what they were 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, everyone's quick mixing now, and good song selection. I was very impressed. So that's a good thing.
Good to hear.
But it kind of makes me feel like when I heard these guys, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, everyone's good. Like, what do I have to do now to step above? Like, if you want to stand out as a DJ, how are you going to stand out when everyone else, all your competition's good? And that kind of made me think a little bit. So it's food for thought for everyone.
Definitely something to think about.
Yes, and once again, shout out to DJ Emmy, because I know he watches. And whoever the DJ was, I should find out who was at Sidebar last night, because they did a really good job too.
Shout out to Darth Vader, who
I
sent me the
saw
text
Darth
on
Vader too.
the
Shout out
J
to
Spring site in
Darth Vader.
Hartford too.
That's right. Shout out to Darth Vader. He was hanging out with me last night. Good times. I don't usually drink that much, but last night.
You were surprised you didn't throw up, is what you told me.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. It's a good
That
sign.
is rare.
That is
very
rare that I
rare.
don't throw. Are you
No,
serious?
it's rare that you get to that point.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have seen that.
It was fun.
I'm disappointed.
So that was our weeks. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yep. Gotta talk about Chachi's Karma Loop video.
That's right.
He did an interview. It's like 5-minute interview video for Karma Loop TV. We're gonna post that down below as well. Definitely check that out. A lot of dope info, and he gives some kind of insight into his thinking about the DJ life, and talks about some DJs, his top 3 DJs he'd like to play with, or likes to play with. And Riz was
Who was
one
the
of
other
them.
one? Oh, so it was in Riz.
It was Riz.
It was in Riz?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
and Riz, yeah.
So Riz was the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
No, he said AM, of course, A-Track, and Riz. So all definitely
Solid.
three,
Very solid choices.
solid choices. Yeah. So check out that video, and yeah, I think that's it for this recap.
You guys have no idea how high it is right now. This is like insane. Jesus.
We're under the lights.
Sucks we can't turn on the fan, because then there's too much noise. Yeah. I think next video we should turn on the fan. Wow.
Alright, well, hopefully you had a good weekend. Also, let us know how your weekend went in the comments.
Or you can email us, remixreport@gmail.com.
See ya.
Remixreport.com